Subscribe for Reddit's controversial opinions. If someone doesn't want to be with you because you're broke, it doesn't mean they're money hungry, it means that they want a stable future. So many dudes calling girls gold diggers, while they themselves have no money. Of course a woman doesn't want to be with you if you're broke. It's not a viable future if a partner has no money, and no job. If you're in college, that's a different story, but if you're a grown adult, and have no money, and no job, why would a person want to be with someone who doesn't provide any stability? Some men would be okay if a woman just does work at home. And if a woman happens to earn more, some men will stay at home. Financial stability is important. And it's a valid complaint coming from a potential partner. Of course, if you have a good job and someone thinks they deserve to be wined and dined, and they call you broke, that's BS. What if the girl calling you broke has no job and no income? It could be either. Look, I make decent money. I make enough to live comfortably in my lifestyle, buy myself nice things, put money into my savings, etc. Why too many women consider me broke though because I have no interest in supporting them financially. A lot of women, especially on dating apps like Tinder or whatever, are looking for someone to take care of them. They don't want a job themselves and want someone who makes enough money to take care of both of them. Having a job equals not being broke though. According to a 2017 Geobanking Rates survey, more than half of Americans, 57%, have less than $1,000 in their savings accounts. Just going to throw that out as something to think about. This is something I had to realize painfully in my early 20s. I don't really make any bones about it. I get it. Therefore, my mid-20s to 30s are going to be about developing a stable financial base off which maybe, just maybe, I could support a family. But I'm not bringing children into this world, or tacking on a relationship, until I know for an absolute fact I can support it financially. That's entirely fair if the other party in this hypothetical is allowed to stand in judgment under the light of the same scrutiny. If you're going to judge me on my potential ability to be a traditional provider, then I'm going to judge you on your ability to be a traditional wife and all that entails. Don't have high standards in mate selection when you yourself don't live up to them. So why aren't they financially stable themselves so as not to rely on the stability of others? If you claim other people are too broke for your future, you better be earning more than them or have a better future plan than they do. My father works in the finance industry and told me this acronym. Ninjas: no income, no job, and single. If lenders don't want anything to do with these people anymore, how the hell can someone expect to build a life with one? Girls who are 10s live life on easy mode. More power to them. I think if you make more than them and they are calling you broke for not buying shit for them, they are a gold digger. Nothing wrong with gold digging anyways, as long as both parties are aware of what it's about. These 60-year-old fat millionaires know exactly why their wife is a 24-year-old supermodel. I guess it depends. I think you should at least get to know someone before you take a peek at their bank balance and decide if you want to stay. If you just look at their bank balance and make your decision purely based on how much they have, that's gold digging. I've always worked and I earn okay money, but I'm terrible at managing it and smoke a lot of weed, like a lot. I'm basically always struggling. I'm trying to sort my life out lol, but this is why I don't get involved with anyone ATM, because I'm so ridiculously bad with money lol. We live in a time when women are supposedly all up on their own 2 feet and in a lot of cases more successful / educated than men. Why the fuck should men still need to be the security? It could also mean they're money hungry though. The thing is, a man will almost never avoid a woman who's broke. Women often won't date men who earn less than them on principle alone. Once you realize this, it's easier to understand why men get defensive. They want a stable future. Then they should already be able to support themselves, regardless who they are or aren't with. That and if originally going Dutch / splitting the bill each time, but she still winded up paying for all meals, events, and outings of his and hers, That's great deal breaker / red flag to dump him, because not only does it shows he's financial unstable but also a gold digger himself. If a girl wants stability, she can provide for her own self. Otherwise it's sexist. God forbid they work for their own money. Yet I'm unlikely to date girls that make less than $60,000. I think women should have to pay for their own expenses, and should have to make the same sacrifices as men to attain jobs that pay higher. Then on some level they have to admit that they don't love the person but what that person provides them. And if a person is only loved for what they provide, what reason do they have to believe their partner would stay with them if they are no longer able to provide what they are being valued for? That's not love, that's choosing an investment. Personally, I want to be loved for who I am, not what I can provide. I wasn't put on this earth to be exploited by somebody that can't take care of themselves. The question becomes, what do you care more about, the house you live in or the people in it? The only reason finances would ever factor into my decision to be with somebody is if I felt they were going to be a financial burden to me, or I believed they were only with me for what they feel entitled. This is the main reason the divorce rates are so damn high. People aren't marrying the person they love, they are marrying the fantasy of the life they think being with that person will provide them. Once reality sets in and they realize that's not going to happen, they turn on their partner. And the reality is this mentality is subjected to men way more than it ever is to women. And this isn't limited to just money. At least in my relationships there was always that thing they were with me to get to. They cared more about getting married than they did who they were going to marry. When I broke up with my first GF, her first response was, "Who am I going to find to give me a baby now?" She was less concerned about losing me than she was about what she thought I was going to provide her. Calling women gold diggers is the worst way of going about talking about this, because it implies it's only about money, when in reality it's normalized exploitation and it's toxic AF. I'm not your ATM. I'm not your mood suppressor. I'm definitely not your fucking sperm donor. I'm not trying to imply men don't have their own toxic traits. I'm pretty confident the vast majority of us have heard all about it. I do think though that the discussion is way too focused on toxic masculinity and needs to just focus on toxic behaviors regardless of gender. I hate to break it to you ladies, but y'all got a lot of toxic AF behaviors as well. The problem is those behaviors are normalized to the point where nobody recognizes them as toxic. It's just the way it is. You want equal treatment but don't want to admit you are equally as capable as being just as shitty a human being as any man. You want equal treatment but don't want to let go of the privileges you got because you were perceived as being frail and less capable. You call for equality then vilify a man for not being a gentleman. Misogyny exists but so does misandry. Both are harmful, both are toxic, and both need to be discussed equally. Sorry for the long-winded post, I'm not the boss and had time to type. It should be more specific. If a poor woman doesn't want to be with a poor man, that isn't fair, and vice versa. I totally agree, this is an unpopular opinion. I still think it's a pretty asinine one. I really truly don't like people like this. Saying you want a partner for a stable future is just a fancier way of saying you want a partner for money. You want a partner for what they bring to your table, specifically for what goods they can / are going to bring to that table. Wanting a partner with drive / ambition is different than saying I don't want to be with you cause to me it doesn't look like you'll make enough for the life I want. I think if two people click and want to be together, that's that. I am in school to become a teacher, something I'm incredibly passionate about and work hard to hopefully accomplish. After doing that I still won't be making a lot of money, something I consider a worthy sacrifice. But you're telling me it's not enough despite me being a driven individual and accomplishing my dreams. Because of an arbitrary number it's not enough for my partner. My girlfriend comes from a very wealthy background, she is planning on making a good amount of money and going to graduate school. She's never minded that I'm the opposite. She likes me for how I am. So this opinion is unpopular with me for sure, but to each their own as always.